Rule number one, never lose money. Rule number two, never forget number one. I know it seems obvious, but you'd be surprised how many smart people forget this. When I talk about never losing money, I'm not saying that you will never see the value of your stock drop. This happens all the time. What I want to say is don't get into a situation that you know could go wrong from the beginning. Most people lose money because invest in what you don't understand, buy it because someone said it will go up, or worse, enter in a hurry with greed thinking that you will become rich overnight. And I tell you, this is not how real wealth is built. I started investing when I was 11 years old. I did a lot of stupid things in the beginning. I was looking at charts, trying to guess which stock would go up next week. But only when I understood that investing was by business and not just actions, everything changed. Losing money hurts. But worse than that is losing confidence in yourself. When you go broke financially because you were reckless, it leaves scars that take time to heal. That's why I protect my capital as if it were a field of wheat about to be harvested. You don't step over it just because you're impatient. You wait, take care, let it grow. Now let me give you a very simple example. If you have $10,000 and you lose 50%, you will have $5,000 left over to get back to the same $10,000. You will need 100% profit. Do you understand? Losing is always more expensive than it seems. It's like breaking a glass cup. It may seem like you just have to pick up the pieces, but he will never be the same again. So before you invest in anything, stop and ask, do I really understand what I'm talking about? Does this business make sense to me? If everything goes wrong, will I be able to sleep peacefully? If the answer is no to any of them, then it's already too late. The risk is not worth the return. I'm not against risk, but I'm against the dumb risk, the one you take on just because you're in a hurry or because you want to prove something to someone. You can get rich slowly, but no one really gets rich betting like in a casino. The first rule of the game is to stay in the game. If you lose everything, it doesn't matter how good you were, you're already out. Therefore, always remember, never lose money. Not because you're scared, but because you are smart enough to understand that money is like a seed. And every big tree, it starts with someone who had the good sense to do not step on the ground the next day. But buy businesses, not stocks. Action is not just a roll. It is not a code on the screen. When you buy a share, you are buying a piece of a real company. When I was 11 years old, I bought my first share, but I'll be honest with you, I had no idea what I was doing. To me, it was just a blinking number going up and down. I was hoping to go up, and when I fell, I got frustrated. Does it look familiar? It was only later that I understood shares are pieces of business, and everything changed. Imagine the following. You have the chance to buy a bakery in your neighborhood. You don't wonder what the last price was that they paid for it yesterday, right? You will look how many people pass by there every day. What is the bread like? If employees work well, how much does the bakery make? Yeah, mainly whether it will continue to exist in 10 years. With stocks, it's the same thing, or at least should be. I always say invest as if the market will close tomorrow and only open again in 10 years. Because if you really love the business, no matter what the market says tomorrow, you remain the owner. You continue to reap the rewards. Do you know why most people lose money on the stock market? Because they are playing the wrong game. They think they're betting on numbers, but great players know the game is about real business with real people serving real customers. I look at a company and ask myself, does it have an advantage that no one can copy? Will people still need what it offers 20 years from now? Does it have honest managers who think like owners? If the answer is yes, so it might take a while, but this business will be worth more in the future. And I want to be together. Think with me. Would you rather buy an excellent store for $100,000 or a bad store for US $50,000 just because it's on sale? There are people who buy shares like those who buy bananas on sale, but in the end you discover that you bought something rotten. I'd rather pay a fair price for an excellent deal than paying cheap for something that is useless. If you start looking at stocks like small slices of companies, your mind changes. You stop looking at the price and start looking at the value, because the market is this. Every day it will show you a price, but only you can know what it's really worth. And if you don't know, so it's better not to buy it. Remember, the market is made to serve you, not to instruct you. Don't follow the herd. Don't buy it because it's going up. Buy because you understand the business, believe in it, and want to be a partner for years. The investor who thinks like an owner, he is the only one who reaps as one. So Only invest in what you understand. Risk is not what the market does. Risk is you not knowing what you are doing. This is perhaps one of the most ignored rules in the world of investments. And ironically, it is also one of the most dangerous to break. I don't invest in cutting-edge technology companies, not because I think they're bad, but because I don't deeply understand how they make money. And if I don't understand, I'm left out. Just like that, the market is full of people trying to appear smart. But at the end of the day, what protects your money isn't looking smart, it's being honest with yourself. Imagine you enter a room with 100 buttons. Just 3 of them won't electrocute you. Are you going to go around squeezing everyone? Of course. You would only lay a hand on those who he is sure that they are safe. Investing works the same way. Only instead of buttons, they are action. And instead of an electric shock. What you can take is a loss that hurts, and not just financially. Therefore, I developed a simple concept that I call the circle of competence. It's the area of the market that you really understand. Businesses you could explain to a child. If it's outside your circle, you don't invest. If you're in, you still think twice. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to understand it well enough to make sensible decisions. I know people who got rich investing just in banks, others just in energy, some only in real estate. It's not about quantity of knowledge, it's about depth and clarity. If someone introduces me to a company and starts using terms that I don't understand, or tells me that it is the next market revolution, I pass. You don't need to invest in everything. You need to invest in what you do. You know, there's a saying I really like, it's better to be approximately right than precisely wrong. I'd rather invest in a company that makes chewing gum than one that's promising to create autonomous rockets powered by artificial intelligence. Why? Because I know how people consume gum. I know who the competitors are. I know what the market is like. Getting rich is not a matter of complexity, it's a matter of discipline. People think the secret is to find the next Apple. But the real secret is in don't go where you shouldn't be. Have you ever seen someone drown in shallow water because they thought they could swim further than they knew how? The financial market is full of these examples. The difference is that at sea, when someone drowns, everyone sees it. In the stock market, when someone breaks, almost no one notices until it's too late. So before investing, ask the most important question there is. Do I really understand this business? I know how it makes money, who the customers are, what the risks are. If the answer is no, then no matter how promising it seems, you must stay out, because at the end of the day, it's better to let a good opportunity pass you by than to fall into a trap you didn't see coming. Investment is not a guessing game. It's a game of lucidity, and the clarity is worth more than any profitability in the world. Think for the right opportunity. You don't need to be a genius to be successful in investing, but you do need to be patient, very patient. Investing is like fishing. You don't throw the hook and start pulling desperately. You sit, you wait, observe, and when the right fish comes along, you're hooked. But most people are too impatient for that. They want the result before understanding the process. They want to plant today and harvest tomorrow. The problem is that in the market, haste is the enemy of profit. The rush makes you buy at the peak. The rush makes you follow fad. Rushing puts you in the right place at the wrong time. I'd like to say that the market is like a baseball game where you can wait as many pitches as you want without getting struck. You can just stand there and watch the launches go by. The average investor swings a bat at any ball, but the wise investor, wait for that perfect ball right in the center. And when it comes, he hits the nail on the head. The best investment opportunities, they don't show up every week. I often go months, sometimes years without buying anything. Not because there are no interesting companies, but because there are no companies at the right price, at the right time. It's like a lion in the savannah. He doesn't chase every rabbit that passes by. It waits for the right moment to attack the right prey. And when he does that, he doesn't waste energy. It's with precision. I see a lot of people losing money because they entered the market just because I was scared of being left out. But you don't make money by participating in everything. You make money by saying no almost every time and saying yes only when the conditions are ideal. There's nothing wrong with being away for a while. The market will be here tomorrow and the day after tomorrow and next month. What won't be here is your money if you act like a gambler instead of an investor. Sometimes silence is worth more than action. Sometimes doing nothing is the best decision. And when the opportunity arises, and it will appear, you will be prepared with money, with clarity, with confidence, and above all, with discipline to act with force when the time is right. If I could give just one piece of advice to beginning investors, it would be this: you don't have to do many things right in life as long as you don't do many things wrong. Wait, analysis. And when you find a good deal at a fair price within your circle of competence, and hold on tight, because great successes make up for dozens of failures. And in the end, that's what separates those who invest from who you. Invest forever. Our favorite retention period is forever. This is perhaps the most misunderstood rule by those just starting out. But we live in an age of speed. People want quick results, immediate returns, easy money, but real wealth doesn't come quickly. It comes from constant, what is built on a solid foundation, one right decision at a time. I've held stocks for decades, not because they were in fashion, not because they were popular, but because I understood that that business was good, solid, and had everything to continue thriving. When you find a good company, one that has a clear model, a real advantage, good managers, and consistent cash flow, the best thing you can do is simple: don't move. Yes, that's right, do nothing. Let time work for you. People ask me, Warren, what's the secret to getting rich? And I answer, start early and never stop. You don't need magic, you need time. If you understand the power of compound interest, you understand that each year that passes is like adding more fuel to a fire that only grows. But every time you sell a stock out of anxiety, fear, or greed, it's like pouring water on that fire. You delay what was about to happen. Take Coca-Cola, for example. It's a company I understand well. Simple, predictable, scalable. I invested in it and held on to it for years. And while the world was chasing the next new thing, I was reaping dividends year after year without rushing, without guessing. Because if business is good today, and do you believe that it will still be good in 10, 20, 30 years, why sell? Many people treat stocks like trading cards, but stocks are pieces of companies. And if the company continues to generate profit, grow, innovate, then your investment is also growing. You don't need to realize the profit. The profit is there, growing within the business. You just need to be a partner and be patient. There are people who sell a good stock just because it rose 20%, as if this were the top. But have you ever seen someone sell a fruit tree just because it bore good fruit that month? No. You plant, take care of, and harvest for many years, because you know that the value is in constants in time. When you invest thinking about the long term, you eliminate noise. You stop worrying about the market going up and down, and you focus on what really matters: the business, the management, the vision. It is clear. You give time a chance to do what it does best: silently multiply what was planted wisely. So if you find a good deal within your circle of competence at a fair price, hold. Ignore the noises, let compound interest do its work. And always remember, money multiplies with time, not movement. Good actions are like true friendships. Few, but they last a lifetime. If you liked the video, subscribe to the channel for more financial wisdom. See you in the next video.